have the Chairman House Committee, that's Lagos House of Assembly's Committee on Finance, Honorable Rotimi Olowo is here in the studio to break down this very big spending plan for Lagos. It's great to have you join us on the show and compliments of the season.
It's my pleasure. Compliments. Happy New Year.
Let's start this way. I'm looking at 711 for capital, 457 recurrent. What should Lagosians expect? This looks very, very good.
Yeah, it's a great departure from the previous budget because 2020 budget focused more on capital expenditure. If you look at the structure of the budget, you appreciate the fact that it's in line and in tandem with the policy and the vision of the current government, which we call teams. Transportation, health, education, and security. Lagosians to hope for a more prosperous new year because it is only holistic and it's a very balanced budget. If you look at education, for example, more money. In fact, education is second after infrastructure.
Wow.
Because we want the public school to be more attractive than private school. And obviously, there must be an investment in that. If we want the future for our children, we need to start that now. You look at health as well. Health has taken another chunk of the budget. When you look at the environment, you know, last year we had a lot of issues that borders on flooding. And we know that because of the, the state is below sea level.
Okay.
And obviously when it rains, there's everything that the sea will bring back forth its own water. And the need for us to nip that in the body obviously has to do with our drainages. Our primary, secondary, and tertiary drainages are to be looked. And that has been decentralized. And more contractors are coming in. Those that have the wherewithal, the expertise, and when they come on board, and we are going to start that as soon as possible before rain commences in June. That has been done. When you look at the area of transportation, you all appreciate that Lagos State is in size is about the smallest in Nigeria, 3,577 square kilometers. But in terms of population, is the most populous state in Nigeria, about 22 million people. And 1/3 of the size of Lagos is water. So the road is overstretched already. There's a need for us to do what we call integrated transportation system, where we are going to harness water. We have bodies of water that is begging for an harness. We need to do that. Then we look at the option of having another mass transportation system. Obviously, that is the Blue Line. And the Blue Line, by the grace of God, it will come on. We will be able to come on by 2021, which is basically about a year from now. And when we have that, we are going to have relationship with investors in terms of bringing in their rolling stocks so that we can partner. And state is conscious of the fact that we are making a linear movement from any part of Lagos to the island. We are going to make the multi-linear movement in such a manner that the hinterlands, like Ekpe, like Ikorodu, like Ibejuleki, Badagry, we are going to give them lease of life. We are going to bring infrastructure down there in such a manner that, hey, you don't need to be in Lagos Island for you to live in Lagos. Ekpa is part of Lagos.
Why? Badagry is part of Lagos.
Badagry is part of Lagos. Limosho is part of Lagos. And we have large expanse of lands that can meet our requirements. So state is taking infrastructure to that. A lot of things in that budget that will be plus for Lagosians because it's going to give them a lease of life. It's going to meet their aspirations. We know their need, and we know what has transpired for the past 4 or 5 years. And it's for us to correct that so that we can rekindle the interest the Lagosians have in us.
Honorable, revenue is something that's very important here, and I like it that you chair the finance committee. Yeah. What's going to happen to raising more revenues? I've asked this question before too when I had the opportunity. That are we going to pay more taxes? What's going to happen? Or we're just going to try and expand the net? We keep hearing that, so please tell us. Let's clarify that.
Thank you very much. You know, there are two parts to a budget. And the most critical aspect of a budget is revenue. If revenue target is not met, the budget will not perform as expected. So in terms of revenue, we know the capacity of Lagos. We know the GDP of Lagos. We have not even tapped up to 7% of our GDP, and the standard is that 15% of your GDP should be what your budget should look like. So we have not tapped up to 15%. I don't even we have gotten to the threshold of 10%. Budget revenue for 2020 is going to not to be like before. We are not going to overtax anybody. We are working in such a manner that our taxes will be friendly, and it will encompass all the sector of the economy. You know, bulk of the money coming in obviously is going through probably through payee. As you earn, you pay. Yeah. The informal sector, I don't think we have been able to cash up to 25% of the informal sector. And what we are expecting is that if we're able to make it to 75%, we only need to expand the tax net and not increase the tax. You will appreciate the House of Assembly that about 5 days ago, we moderated on the land use charge, and we repealed the 2018 land use charge and came up with just 20% above the previous land use charge of 2015, which is going to make it something next to nothing for people, because we have not changed land use charge for the past 15 years. So 20% of that is as good as nothing. And we are decentralizing approval sector, LASPA, LAPCA, wherever, getting approval and getting to pay is going to be seamless. We want business of the state to be as seamless as possible. So the ease of business in Lagos State is going to be our priority. And at the end of the day, 1.07 trillion obviously is going to come through IGR and statutory allocation. But we, as a state that is forward-looking, we are thinking less of the statutory allocation and thinking more of internally generated revenue. And you know, just like the period of BRF, when you invest in infrastructure and you invest in the security of people, and the transportation system is seamless, is integrated and seamless, obviously people will respond positively. We want to have a government, and we are working on that our government will be the most assessed government, the most friendly government, the most respected government, and people will willingly pay their taxes without being forced. And we've gotten a lot of judgment in favor of Lagos State in terms of consumption tax. You live in Lagos, you consume in Lagos, you must pay that tax in Lagos. Those are the things we are looking at. Your tax of Lagos State will not go to Abuja or go to Ogun State. If we have all it takes to provide infrastructure, then we should be able to get tax to maintain the infrastructure and to maintain governance. And that's what we are doing currently.
Let's look at projects now ongoing in Lagos. I was thinking that very soon Lagos might be everywhere. Work will just be going on everywhere. I can see Lagos, Badagry, Lagos, Papa Oshodi, and all of that. Now, as lawmakers, what role you come in here now to checkmate, oversight? How well, what do we expect in 2020 from you and your colleagues?
Thank you very much. We expect development, infrastructure that impact positively on the economy of Lagos State. About maybe 4 or 5 days ago, one of our colleagues raised a motion on the floor of the House but talked about the need for us to bring in good contractors that will not collect Lagos State money and zoom off. Contractors that we always renew is APG, which we guarantee that it will finish the job. And we look at Lagos State as a whole organic body, that if Ikeja is making a lot of infrastructural development, the same should be talked about Badagry. The same should be talked about other areas, being Ikorodu, Epe, Agege, Alemosho. We want holistic development, that wherever you are, you have prosperity. And it is the prosperity Lagos State taxed. So a lot of roads will be coming up, bridges will be coming up. We are, by the grace of God, we are going to finish Agege Bridge this year. We are going to extend the job we are doing currently from CMS to Alakija. That will be completed this year by the grace of God. Then we move. Currently, we are moving to Badagry. Yeah. The road is being addressed now. In the couple of months, I think 1 year, 6 months, we should be able to do Badagry, Lagos Badagry to Badagry. And that means it's going to give a lease of life. And it will allow for relationship with the neighboring nations. We have Ghana there, we have Togo.
It's an international road.
It's an international route. Then, when we are through with the blue line, we are going to tap into the federal government, Lagos, Abuja rail system, where we are going to collaborate, and that will now allow people living around the axis of Abule Egba to Oshodi to have another lease of life. And at the end of the day, all this is going to have a positive impact on the economy of Lagos, because now, because of the hold-up, traffic congestion, business is not as usual. Yes. A lot of people are complaining, and we know that we have alternative to the roads as well. We have other things. We have the water transportation. We are going to have JVC on that area. We are going to do bathymetric survey of our water body and ensure that our water routes are safe. Then, by that time, through, these buses, we are going to give it out, and through that, we are going to have a sort of integrated system from the water to the road to the rail. And the traveling experience is going to be very pleasant, because if you are going by road alone, which ordinarily would have taken about 1 hour, 2 hours, that corridor will take nothing less than 30 minutes. And we are working, more jetty will come up. We have invested in Lagos State Ferry Limited, and a lot of stocks are coming in that will complement what is on ground. And we are going to into JV. Again, more housing will come to Lagosians, a sort of something akin to rent to own.
Wow.
All these we are putting in place. I know this government is very serious, and we are in alignment as
and also for
civil
servants,
ensuring that
for civil servants that needs to be, they're going to do this job. How well are they going to be encouraged at this time too?
Obviously, the governor has given them the first major Christmas gift by giving them 3 months arrear of the minimum wage, and that means that there will be more goodies that will be coming in. We are looking at how we check the housing requirements of the workforce and ensure that where they are having the housing units very close to their place of work, to ensure they get to work in good time and to motivate them to do well.
All right, almost finally now, let's look at budget performance in Lagos. How well have we been doing? I hear sometimes we do 90%, 85%. Now that we're starting full budget year circle, I'm looking at January to December. What are we looking at when it comes to performance?
Yes, honestly, when you look at budget is scientific summation, is a scientific estimate that is predicated on feasible, empirical facts. We are not magicians, but I know with what we have put in place, we are going to mobilize all those revenue generating agencies at Q1 so that they can bring in as much as possible. So I'm looking at, if we do 85, 90%, we have done well. But I have the hope and conviction that we do nothing less than 90% with all we have done and what we have set up. 175 billion is set aside in 2020 to quickly mobilize all revenue generating agencies, as well as infrastructural development agencies when we are talking about public works, and we are talking about Ministry of Works and Industry. And we have decentralized public works. There's one is in Mota that will take care of the East Central District. The one currently being used in Ikeja will take care of the Central. The one in Badagry will take care of Badagry. So all the 3 units will be working simultaneously at ensuring that we have 0 pothole by the end of 2020. Coupled with the fact that the major works will be done by the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure. Then money has been earmarked for public work as well, which we call intervention, that will take care of some local roads, but that do not meet the requirements of Works and Infrastructure Committee, so they can nip in the board, do some palliative, so do some rehabilitation, attention that from your house to your place of work, you have a seamless, pleasant experience.
Well, it's really nice. I wanted you to drop one word. Finally, just in one line, I hope there will be a little bit of local content. I heard some boats will be made here in Lagos, and we will be importing some of them.
Yes, we are approaching Niger Dock. Niger Dock does that locally, and we believe that Nigerian money should be in Nigeria. Then local technicians will be trained in Lagos for the maintenance and stuff like that.
That's a very good one. Honorable Rotimi Olowo, I must thank you, Chairman, House Committee on Finance, breaking it down, letting us understand where all of this is going to be coming from. Well, we look forward to a great 2020. Thank you very much for joining us on Business Nigeria. It's really nice to have you on the show.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.